Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Moving Forward Leadership Podcast. I'm your host and founder, Scott McCarthy, and welcome to the podcast where we talk all things leadership. Got a great episode lined up for you today. Today, I'm going to talk about the 3 personality traits that you require as a leader. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to talk about 3 personality traits that every leader requires. These are crucial for you to be able to interact with your people and appropriately get them motivated, and most importantly, get them to follow you as a leader. So what are those 3 personality traits? Well, they're humanity, humility, and respect. I'm going to dive into each one of those individually now and give you some examples on how I've used them in the past and how I've come across them. Alright, so let's dive in. Let's talk about humanity first. And what exactly do I mean about humanity? Well, it's basically being human, right? It's your ability to be like your people so that your people don't necessarily see you as this great person that they can't reach to be or be like, godlike. A lot of people out there think leaders need to look like gods, demigods of their organizations, that they're never wrong or they're always right, they can never be harmed, etc. That can't be further from the truth. The more humanity that you actually have, that you're able to emphasize with your people, all right? Admit when you make mistakes, and then, if required, apologize for your mistakes, the more respect you're going to gain from your people. And then from there, their ability to actually follow you will be greatly increased, okay? So here's a couple of examples that I want to pass out to you. And first and foremost, admit when you're wrong. I know a lot of leaders out there might say that this is actually FUBAR, you shouldn't do it, it's wrong, that you shouldn't publicly admit your mistakes. I completely go against that because your people know when you make mistakes. Face it, all right? When a CEO of a company goes ahead and makes a mistake that causes the loss of millions of dollars in an organization, his people know that, okay? So go out there and make known that you accept your mistakes. And the follow-on effect of that is that your people will see that this is actually a good way to act, and in turn, they will admit their mistakes too. And if you then turn your company or your organization into one that allows people to, 1, admit their mistakes, and 2, learn from them, you'll become better in the long run, okay? The next thing you need to do is apologize. Now, I'm not saying that you need to necessarily publicly apologize to your people if that's required. Maybe that will be required. Who knows? It all depends on the situation, right? But if you make a mistake, especially to an individual, you don't necessarily have to do that publicly. I actually wouldn't recommend doing it publicly, but actually do it privately. So, for example, just a week ago or so, I made a mistake with one of my people. I wouldn't say a right, but they were entitled to do something in a process. I didn't allow them to do it. The end result, though, wouldn't have changed, but I did recognize that I made that mistake. So the following day, what did I do? I invited that person and a couple other people that were involved with that process into my office. I explained to that member what I had done, where the mistake was, and I also apologized to them face to face and said, I'm sorry for taking that entitlement away from you. However, I did inform them that regardless, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the process that was ongoing. So the moral of the story is that with this example, yes, it wasn't going to change the process, but I gained respect from that member and those that were involved with this process because I showed that I was human. I, like this member, were able to make mistakes, but most importantly, I admitted it and then I informed them that I would learn from it, okay? So that is one of the key things. Admitting mistakes to your people, apologizing to them, and then showing them that you are you're human. Another aspect of humanity, which a lot of people get away from, is occasionally just letting your hair down, joking around, having fun. When the boss walks around, it shouldn't be the NFL or the no fun league, as some people jokingly call it. All right, you should be able to walk around occasionally and not talk shop, but just joke with your people or talk about various other things. Again, it's building that humanity of yours and showing your people that you are an individual. You have personality. You have likes and dislikes and interests, just like everybody else out there. You're not concerned only about just the bottom line, but you are actually a human being behind those eyes. Okay? Humanity, humanity, humanity. So I hope this helps for humanity. I'm going to move on though to humility. Humility is all about being humble. And this is a thing that I find a lot of junior leaders have issues with, and then actually even more so when you get to more senior ranks, that humility seems to leave them and they get more entitled. So here's a couple of things to help you with your humility. First and foremost, leave the praise. And when I say by leave the praise, if your organization is doing something good and you guys get recognized for that, that belongs to your people, okay? Because your people are the ones who are actually doing the work on your behalf and in achieving the results of which you're getting the praise for. So don't take that praise, all right? But give it to your people. This will show you that you're humble, that you respect them and what they're doing, and that you personally don't believe the reason why everything occurs is because of you. All right? Giving praise is one of the most important things that you can do as a leader, because it helps motivate your people. It shows them that you care, and foremost, it shows them that the work that they're doing, the hard work that they're doing, is getting the recognition that it deserves. The next thing, which I'd like to hit on, is take the blame. So what do I mean by take the blame? If something goes wrong, it is never your people's fault, but your fault. All right? Regardless of what went wrong, unless someone completely and utterly went out of their way to deliberately sabotage your operations, it is your fault. You have to take the blame for it, okay? As a leader. And even in that context of someone deliberately going out to sabotage your operations, you could almost take the blame for it there too. All right? So why do I say this? Because everything, as John Maxwell says, rises and falls on leadership. Okay? And if something falls, it's because of leadership. I don't personally take the first part of his quote, i.e. rises. Remember what I just finished talking about, leaving the praise, okay? But we can discuss that offline or on another podcast episode. But it definitely falls because of leadership. Was there something you could have done to stop this from happening, right? Could you have better prepared your people with training? Could you have better foreseen it? Could you have done better planning? Could you have done contingency plans? There was a million different things that you could have done. Could you have had better security processes in place? Could you have better checks and balances in place, right? Could you have searched for the better people? Could you have developed your people better? There's so many different reasons why something goes wrong and what could have done to prevent that. And if you go ahead and look at it at the core root of the reason, it all falls back to leadership. Another good reason to take the blame is because it allows your people to get past whatever incident occurs. It allows them to focus back on what needs to get done, i.e. getting your organization back on track. All right? So that's what I mean by taking the blame. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely critical for you to do. So one example that I'd like to give out about humility was that we had a member of my organization recently retire. Now, I have only come into this organization as a leader since July, so I've been there for grand total about 6 months or so now. And this member was retiring. It was just 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe if that. And as I was getting ready to leave his retirement function, we were chit-chatting. He said that he felt sorry that he couldn't be under my command longer. Me being leader I am, I immediately turned that around. I told him, no, I'm the one that's sorry that you couldn't have been under my command for longer. This was an excellent worker, outstanding guy. I hope all the best for him. If he's listening, he knows he probably is picking up on this right now, but wish him all the best in his retirement or whatever he decides to do. But if you look at that, he says that he's sorry. I turn around and say, no, I'm sorry. So what does that mean? It means that I'm telling him he's more important to me than what I am to him. And that's showing my humility right there. And that was completely on purpose. The people are always, you have to show them that they're the most important aspect to the organization, not yourself. So keep in mind that humility shows, just like humanity, to your people that you are a person there as well, and not just a robot or a scary monster that they need to be afraid of. Moving on to the last personality trait that every leader requires, that is respect. I know it's not really a trait per se, but you need to be respectful to everybody, okay? Because everybody deserves respect. I know a saying out there, some people go by to saying, I take respect. Well, that's a load of crap, all right? Respect is earned. You need to earn the respect of your people, but your people needs to automatically get your respect. That's how you motivate them, and that's how you earn their trust and respect, by immediately giving to them, okay? A couple different ways of respecting people. First off is how you greet them as you see them, okay? When people see me, they automatically say good day, sir, to me, and that's just because of my rank and title. It's automatic for them. I, in turn, often will use the exact same greeting to them. I would say good day, sir, or ma'am to them as well, even though they're actually technically not a sir or ma'am and lower rank than me. But the reason why I do that is for respect. If you ever watched the movie Coach Carter, it is absolutely clear. Samuel L. Jackson does an awesome scene in that movie where he basically gets these high school kids to understand that how you properly greet people is a form of respect. And that's exactly how I do it with my people as well. So moving on, another way to show your respect for your people is respecting their time, okay? And you have to understand that everybody's time is important. And I say this to my folks all the time, okay? You have to understand that your people's time is as valuable as yours is. And time is the one thing that we can't make more of, all right? As you move along, you'll notice more and more that time is the most valuable commodity out there. And we basically spend money to save time. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with your people, all right? Is what I'm asking going to be a waste of their time? Am I wasting their time? There are going to be times when your people are going to be much busier than what you are. And you need to recognize that and understand that and respect that as well, okay? In turn, there's going to be times when you're going to be more busy or occupied than your people, and that's perfectly fine. That's just how it goes. But everybody's time is important. Keep in mind, I go back to the whole core thing that your people do to work on your behalf to achieve what you're looking to have achieved. Finally, regarding respect, is that you need to eliminate, and I mean it, eliminate all types of rumors and back talking, talking behind people's backs within your workplace. Currently going through that in mine, and I definitely have a mission on right now to eliminate that stuff. That type of disrespect within your organization will in turn basically, I wouldn't say destroy it, but definitely cause a cancerous type atmosphere there. And you can't have that type of disrespect. So make sure to cut away any type of rumor mills, as we like to call them, or talking behind people's backs. That's not required in the workplace. It shouldn't be required within your organization. Hope these 3 things help you. They're definitely absolutely critical personality traits that a leader requires to have. So I'm just going to wrap up and review them again. So remember, the first one is humanity. Making sure your people see you as a human being by admitting your mistakes and apologizing when required or if it's warranted. Showing your humility by leaving the praise and taking the blame, okay? As well as putting your people first. And then finally, respecting your people through how you greet them every day, whenever you talk to them, how you respect their time, as well how you ensure cancerous items such as disrespect and talking behind people's backs and rumor mills are eliminated from the workplace. So keep those in mind. Work on them. If you need some help on them, feel free to reach out. I'm more than gladly to help out, okay? Just a few notes before I close up for today. I have a Facebook page. I'm finally up on Facebook. I know it's taken me a little while, so go on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/moving forward leadership, you will definitely get to the page. Or if you just go to Facebook search page and punch in Moving Forward Leadership podcast, it will show up there. Go ahead, like that page, and then follow me along on there. There's definitely ways for you to reach me as well. I go ahead and post on there. Don't forget, I'm also on Twitter, or you can always find me on the webpage, movingforwardleadership.com. Got some more interesting and good stuff being worked on in the background. I won't completely unveil those just yet, but we're getting there. I'm definitely getting there on them. So looking forward to it. Again, please, if you enjoy this podcast, you enjoy what I have to say, if you find the tips practical and useful, please go out there and leave me a review either on iTunes, Google Play, Shout Engine, or wherever you find this podcast at. Questions, you can shoot me questions in many different ways now, either through email at scott@movingforwardleadership.com, Twitter, now Facebook. We're going ahead and going to the webpage and filling out the form there at movingforwardleadership.com. Okay? Keep in mind that on the website, movingforwardleadership.com website, you'll find on the bottom right corner a place to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, where I go out and send you all kinds of different links, articles, whatever basically I find interesting on leadership for the month. Okay, it's just a monthly newsletter. It's not going to fill up your inbox or anything like that on a daily basis. And finally, I am definitely open for your suggestions for podcasts, for different topics and so on and so forth. Do eventually plan on having an interview episode coming up in the near future. We're going to talk to a person who's been leading teams remotely, i.e. through the internet. I think that's pretty applicable with this day and age. So I've been talking to this member. He's definitely interested in getting on the show here. So hopefully in the near future, once our schedule's lined up, we'll get that episode up and on the air. Okay? Hope everybody's having a great week. Have a great day. Keep in mind where you can listen, where you can find me. Shout Engine, Google Play, iTunes, or the website, movingforwardleadership.com. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, keep pushing, keep trying, keep achieving. Thank you. Take care now.